Combat Mission Black Sea is the name of the game. I'm recording this a bit later than I intended to, but that's life. And so we're here for another NATO turn. The main thing that happens this turn is the Apache feels the need to talk every 30 seconds. That's fine. Engagements down here. I've been wiggling my mouse around. Shooting happens there. Not a ton happens up here, and mostly outside of that, it's kind of a general westwards migration of a fair few number of units.
Copy. Everyone down.
So you can see you got all these infantry reinforcements moving up. You got all these tanks moving this way. The convoy is getting into that area. And you take a beating down here with all these Russian units in the woods. Some shit happens here. You get engaged with an APC in the forest. Little explosion down there. And probably not an Apache. So let's go take a look. So starting off on the left-hand side of the map here, I'll just zoom out for some context. This is where we are. This is what it actually kind of looks like. But this is the 3rd platoon guys that are moving around into the forest. They're surrounded, actually. So you kill some Russian dudes. It's loud as fuck. But we shoot some dudes down here. But just grenades, man. These grenades, like, holy shit. I'm pretty sure that's grenades. Also, it's a grenade launcher. It's something, but something explosive goes off in the middle of the squad and take a whole bunch of casualties. Down here, these guys break contact with the people they were shooting at. I think they're mostly quiet for the rest of the turn, and these guys just kind of continue to be pinned. So eventually, they just kind of start breaking. Mostly everybody's wounded, and that's the status of them on the first minute. Over here, similarly enough, these guys are creeping through the woods. Apparently, like, everybody's super close together here. You spot this BTR when it's like right on top of your guys, and I'm pretty sure it must be too close to actually use the RPG because they start lobbing hand grenades at the thing. And I mean, it goes okay until the BTR actually decides to just fucking shoot. So you're really close to this, and apparently the grenades haven't made the crew bail out or anything, but it has stopped moving, so I don't know what you did to that. Over here, not a lot going on. You have that one, like this one guy here just gets shot at mostly for the entire time, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, just like things move around. These Bradleys getting into position with all their American infantry, so that'll start kicking off soon too. Second half of the turn for the NATO side, all the blue, our boys in blue, etc., etc. Down here, I'm not really sure what to do with the guys who are already in contact with the BTR, but I moved some guys who weren't engaged with it and who had disposable RPGs behind it. So this kind of situation kind of plays itself out down here. Unfortunately, you take a bunch more casualties. A little bit more fighting in the woods here. You're getting contacts in the gully from all the Americans moving around. We're starting to see things around them. Yeah, there goes that BTR. You get them with the RPG-22s. A little bit of shooting up here, not a lot. All those explosions I'm hearing, I think that's the Apache, and it's just shit you can't see. Like, nobody has eyes on where the Apaches are shooting.
Copy. Everyone down.
Know that the Americans dismounting. A few people moving around. Let's go take a look. So over here, the BTR just kind of slowly starts gunning down everybody who apparently don't realize if they just stay the fuck on the ground, like, they can't be shot. So I think what happens is they keep standing up getting shot. But I move these guys in from behind. Yeah, so, or maybe you can't get shot lying down, I don't know. But these guys come in from behind, and they see it at the same time. It's like, fuck yeah, dude, let's tag team this shit. And they use all their AT assets at the same time to kill this guy, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, this is dead. Where these guys just kind of strolling along. Everybody in this squad dead except for the leader, so there's an RPG and a PKM just kind of sitting out there. So like these guys who just have AKs, or I guess also an RPK, could acquire that shit if you want to. So over here, things kind of quiet down. Your casualties kind of stop, you start putting some fire on these guys. This machine gun gets set up right looking at where they are, like this should have them kind of dead to rights. They don't see anything though because visibility is kind of shit, and I hope they can see beyond that tree. It's really hard to, like, if I tried to put them here, odds are they also just like walk out and get shot. So you might be able to put target orders on these guys for all the Russians in the little crevasse here. Also, a fun thing you spot literally as the turn goes to done is that you start seeing some Russians down here. I think some of these Americans, like walking across the way here, see some Russians down here. ATGM no less, so I guess don't move any tanks down into this area because you will get ATGM'd unless that dies. Over here, you briefly spot a Russian dude in front of this BTR. You shoot at him, he hits the deck, and then you don't see him anymore. This guy continues to have like a stupid amount of bullets thrown at him, but he just won't die. So he's pinned forever, I guess. But other than that, not a lot happens here. The Americans all get out of their Bradleys. The Bradleys are going to start following them the next turn. They'll have their javelins and a few reloads and a few AT4s. So that'll all start happening, so that'll be good. And everywhere else, I don't think a ton happens. So that should pretty much do it for the turn. Tanks are starting to arrive here. Like, oh yeah. Yeah, look at that. Multiple Abrams. Oh, that's so sexy. Oh, 2 Abrams. Great. So this is the one that came with the reinforcements. Hobgoblin, actually. So you have 2 Abrams in here. Chunky Monkey's Abrams is also running down this road here, way back. So all your tanks are starting to consolidate down here. Like 3 Abrams is probably enough to break down the gates of hell in this game engine. So that'll be fun. So you're starting to consolidate here. Like you just have this gigantic fucking rally point of like BTRs. So if you want to try and like activate the Russians' kill limit with like BTRs just by sending empty BTRs until they hit the number of BTRs they can kill and shut down, like this would be a good tactic. So yeah, look at all this fucking infantry. Holy shit. Like you got a lot here. So lots of people massing up in a very small area here. Lots of HQs running around. So 1st platoon of 3rd company, 2nd platoon of 2nd company, 4th platoon, this is weapons. It's the 2nd company, so everybody not highlighted is 3rd company. They all just kind of arrived from down the road. So lots of shit here that you're going to be able to do soon. Americans are all down here, obviously. The convoy is at this point. So they're pretty much like, they're not far from the alternate exit. Like, that's only a couple minutes of physical driving down the road. You just, down this way. I'll turn on trees. Maybe I'll do like a little ground eye flyby. So you go down through here. They come through this little area. This is where, like, this is the point where things can start to shoot you that you know about. Through some patches of trees here. And then they're out. So it's pretty long, like this map is huge, but relative to the distance they've traveled, not a long way left to go. The last thing I can think of is that D2 Kozel wanted some like detailed flybys of this area, which is cool because the topography is kind of like fucked up. It's hard to just figure out from top-down views all the time. So when we're in here, I'll turn trees off so you can see the terrain. Is that you have like your recoilless rifles and stuff are kind of behind this ridge. You have all these BTRs here. Like Russian infantry is right here, so it's very close. I'm trying to keep all the machine guns and everything set up so they're kind of looking across this field here, like this kind of pseudo opening. So most of these guys have like reasonable views. I hope. I think they're set up in the right way. But as you can see, there's basically like this ridge. This patch of trees has a ridge, and I'm trying to get you guys set up on this side. This is the one part of it where like the Russians will see you if you come up onto the ridge. So the HQ units are also moving up into here, and you have Ross with his merry little survivors, which is about 1 squad's worth. I'll just kind of hold up down here. How's the morale doing? They're ready and rattled, so they're actually not doing bad in terms of that.